Hello and welcome. Today I'm in the Tier 7 US aircraft carrier, the Saipan, and I'm using these modules and commander skills. This is a ranked battle where I'm playing a carrier, but it's on the NA server because I don't have Saipan on the EU server. And because it's on NA, it's a very low ranked match, and you can tell by the ships that have been picked on both sides. Now, the reason why I wanted to play the Saipan in ranked is because I think that she is actually the strongest ship in this entire ranked season. However, I didn't recommend it because usually you have trouble finding matches, at least, from the rank you start at until actually rank 1. You'll spend a lot of time in queue that you wouldn't with other ships. However, this season actually surprised me in that we had a lot more carrier players than I expected, so perhaps next season playing carriers might be a good idea. Anyways, this is a match on the map Fault Line, and I am 2-0, obviously. I'm against a Hiryu, which means I should hold the air advantage, and I want to go for the ACAP, because I expect the enemy DD to go for this, and apparently they are, and I will want to try to interrupt them. However, the Miyoko that followed the Akatsuki, well, has defensive fire and she used it. The good thing is though that Miyokos have terrible anti-air, which means my planes did not actually get shot down. So now I'll just chill around here. I'll try to keep the ships spotted so that my fleet can pick them off, or at least try to deal some damage to them. At least until defensive fire disappears, then I'll see what I'll do. However, this smoke screen might be a bit problematic, especially if this Hiryu actually helps them. Oh! Apparently the enemy Hiryu does not have air superiority skill on their captain, so it seems I have an even bigger advantage. Okay, I think the defensive fire should be disappearing now, so I should be able to try to do a drop on the Akatsuki. I don't know. Okay, that's bad. Damn. I just screwed that drop up. I wanted to pull it back after I saw the Akatsuki start turning in, but unfortunately it was too late. Oh well, it is what it is. So, now that I did my drop, I guess I'll have to focus on the enemy fighters, which I'll try to strafe right now. And I was successfully able to. I took out 2 planes. And the friendly anti-air took out the 3rd one. But I am detected by planes, which means that there are likely planes coming for me, because we don't see any planes and haven't seen for quite a while, and I am suddenly detected by planes. There's no way I'm not being attacked by them, and yep, there they are. So basically, the planes were coming for me. The Hiryu seemed to want to snipe me. By the way, the one massive advantage on the Saipan is that she has a lot of ammunition on their fighters, so you can do these kinds of strafes and stuff like that quite a lot. Unfortunately, I don't have enough time to try to strafe all of these properly, so I will have to try to make do with what I have. And it seems that one squadron will be able to strike. I'm gonna start turning in. By the way, the Saipan is actually surprisingly good at doing this maneuvering. Now, I actually did screw this up a little bit. I slowed down. I should have kept going full speed and did the turn. Maybe I could have turned through the middle of those torpedoes, but then again it was only just one torpedo that I got hit with, so it only did 5,000 damage. Even if it had caused the flooding, I could have just done a Kundit. Okay, so this Akatsuki seems to be coming out and trying to, I don't know what she's doing with the Miyoko. Then again, I have to remember that this is very low tier. Okay, planes again. That's odd. I guess I will have to... That's odd that I'm spotted by planes again. Okay, it's the fighter squadron. That's alright. I'll pull one squadron back to try to interrupt that one, but the others will either go try to pick off the Akatsuki or at least spot her. Now, what I wanted to mention is that this is a very low ranked match, which means that it doesn't necessarily mean that my teammates or the opponents are bad, but it's more likely than it is at other tiers. So I can see anything happen in this game. I could see literally the worst player in the game, which you obviously aren't going to at higher tiers, or are very, very unlikely to. but at this kind of a tier, it is possible. So I have to account for the fact that my teammates might not be up to par, although at this point I don't have anything against them. Also, the same has to apply to my opponents. I mean, look at my drops, they aren't that good either though, so I don't know if I'm really the right person to talk about this. So the Hiryu actually I managed to get the fighter engagement in my ship's anti-air, which meant that I could simply do a fight without losing a single plane. Now I hit one torpedo on the Akatsuki, unfortunately the others missed, however she is at 1700 HP and I expect this Myoko to pick her off. I'll just get her spotted with planes, well, eventually. Okay, I guess I'm not actually spotting her with planes. Now, people might think... Now, I sometimes get comments like, oh, you talked about this but you didn't actually do it. That's because I do commentary after the game, so I might notice things that I don't notice during the game. I obviously know what I thought, or more or less know what I thought during the game, but I can't be certain. Now, I expected his planes to be coming again at some point because he is really far behind, and oh, there they are. Then now I have enough time to be able to just strafe them all down, and this should be no problem at this point. The air battle has successfully been won at this point. I don't really expect anything to be able to suddenly just pick me off anymore. Especially, the Saipan is really good for this, especially because her planes are higher tier, which means they are faster, and that enables you to catch up rather easily. Although you will see that even if ships are the same tier, you will find that fighters are faster than bombers. However, the problem is that they aren't as fast. The speed difference isn't big enough. If you've ever tried chasing a carrier as a destroyer while the carrier is running away from you in a straight line, you'll know what I'm talking about. If your ship is going 38 knots and the carrier is going 33 knots, and your difference is 12 kilometers, actually getting within 8 kilometers is a really difficult thing if they run away in a straight line because your speed difference is only 5 knots. Okay, so right now both teams have lost 1 DD, 1 cruiser. Now, the cruiser that's... Wait, no, never mind. Now, the problem is that all the enemies are grouped up like this Colorado, Gneisenau, Haguro, and Colorado. And they are positioned in a way where it's difficult for me to strike because of the island being in the way. If I had struck there, I would have hit a maximum of 1 torpedo, although I think even that is unlikely. I think what would have happened is that I would not have hit any of those torpedoes. And because of that, I pulled the strike back, and I'll try doing another one. Oh my god, that float plane squadron was incredible. And now it's in the anti-air of a friendly cruiser too, so that squadron is gonna be taken out. Unfortunately, the battleships did take out the Myoko, and I failed to protect this Colorado from this strike. But I should be able to kill off enough planes so that the strikes should be crippled enough, in the future at least, because I have already shot down 31 planes. And I should be able to do a more decent strike this time, but I'll do it at a longer range. Well, I wanted to do it, but then I kept pressing it wrong. And unfortunately, that only caused 2 torpedo hits. It's alright though, I have all the time in the world. There's 11 minutes still to go, and you know, at this point, since I have pretty much neutralized the enemy carrier, there probably isn't much risk for this game anymore. The main risk... Oh, actually a 3rd torpedo hit. Now the main risk in these kinds of games for me as a carrier would be that the enemy team runs away with the game, that they get an advantage over my team and then they keep running away. Because I trust myself enough that I should be able to take this game if given enough time. I don't feel that I am at risk of losing all my planes, and I don't feel that the enemy ships are very good at being, well, anti-carrier. So this should definitely be a game that I should be able to win. The main threat would be in the fact that the enemy team might kill enough ships or kept enough points that the game would end before giving me ample time to actually deal with all the ships. But at this point I think there is little risk for that, because clearly my team has been able to equalize the fight, even though I haven't even done all that much. I hit one torpedo on a DD and only now hit 2 more torpedoes on a battleship, so my team, in my opinion, has been holding on well enough, and at this point the enemy carrier is gonna start getting deplaned slowly because they have already lost 37 planes. And I think Aerroon doesn't have a huge amount of replacements. I mean, that is, they still should be able to get full squadrons up and all that, but you know, in 2-3 minutes, maybe not anymore. Because I am not really running out of planes, especially fighters, so I will definitely be able to interrupt them. Now, the enemy Aerroon is doing the correct decision in the fact that she is trying to strike different targets. You saw earlier that the strike was towards the battleship at B, but then when I intercepted it, the next strike was at the battleship at like C8 or something. Okay, so the Aerroon finally came to fight both fighter squadrons at the same time. But I think it's a little too late, and at this point this is gonna cause more problems for him than it actually helps. And hello, that's clear skies. Now this Gneisenau is pushing through, which is good for me, because it means I can strike this Gneisenau alone, or fairly alone, which means that I'm less likely to have planes shot down, and I should be able to get a decent strike from that. 4 hits and goodbye Gneisenau. So at this point the game's pretty much stabilized. We have 3 battleships, they have 2 battleships and a cruiser, and the cruiser is pushing, so it's very likely said cruiser will be picked off. Now of course this Colorado might also die, but we are equal in points and we are both capping, so things should be going alright. Especially since I am successfully shutting down the enemy Aerroon. I mean, I am already at 47 planes killed. Yeah, I'm sorry, 0IO is likely to die in this case. Not to the planes, but the other ships. Oh my god. Okay, so I mentioned earlier that the enemy carrier does attacks all around the map, and he's still continuing. I think that's a really good decision against Saipan. You see, in this game, the enemy Aerroon was in a really disadvantageous position, because he doesn't have air superiority, and I do, and I am on top of that, I'm a Saipan, so the advantage is definitely in my court. Wow, I only shot down 1 TIE bomber in that strafe. That's a bit unfortunate, but the battleship should be fine. Now we're behind in points for a while, but the cruiser in the middle is definitely going to go down soon. And maybe it might already be time to try to go pick this guy off as well. If I could do like a torpedo bomber strike on that guy, and then have him repair the flooding, and then get another flooding, I might actually be able to pick him off. Now, I'm not quite certain how great of an idea it is overall, because, you know, I could just as well go and try to pick off enemy battleships, but the thing is that this Aerroon is really close to my ship, because I have gone all around the map at this point. So it doesn't take me nearly as long to strike this Aerroon as it would to strike the battleships. Unfortunately, he had some fighters coming around, so I have to bring a squadron around to try to interrupt this. But my second torpedo bomber squadron should be able to at least go and do that fighter engagement. Hit on the Aerroon. Or maybe I'll just use this one and use the second one to back up. Because what I want to do is, obviously I want to cause a flooding, have him repair it, and then cause another flooding. Because that will maximize the amount of damage I can do, because I only have 2 torpedo bomber squadrons. Okay, those are some excellent hits, 3 hits and the flooding. Let's see, yep, he has used damage control party, so if I do a hit now and I get the flooding, that flooding will stick. Okay, time to intercept all the bomber planes that the Hiryu shot down. And at that point, the Hiryu should be neutralized. Now the only worry at this moment right now is that the enemies might suddenly jump to 1,000 points by somehow killing both battleships or something. But I don't expect that to happen, so things should be alright. Yep, Hiryu is definitely going down now. She is flooding and almost dead. Goodbye. So now we are at 982 points and 2 ticks should put us towards victory, which is very good. I mean, this game was actually a lot closer than I expected due to points. That is, we might have easily lost if we had suddenly lost one extra ship, because we were both very close to points and you just saw how close the kill on the Hiryu put me. Yeah, like I told you, this was really low ranks. But I do think Saipan was an incredible ship for this ranked season, if you could find matches. I mean, I had 14 torpedo bomber hits, 62 planes shot down, 2,200 base experience. The enemy Hiryu effectively got shot down, and to be honest, it's not really the Hiryu's fault. Unfortunately, the tier 7 carriers aren't very good against one another. The Saipan, in my opinion, definitely comes out on top, and the Ranger definitely comes out on bottom, so Hiryu is in the middle, and if you don't have air superiority, you're in even more trouble. Oh well, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know you guys seem to enjoy some carry gameplay, so I figured I would show this match, even though it was such a rollover from my perspective. So anyways, if guys enjoyed it, then like it. If not, then dislike it. And I would like to thank the patrons on Patreon. Thank you very much for your continued support, Roaming Raven, and I hope I see you guys next time.